Hey everybody, we're gonna be making our molas starting today. So molas have animals usually on them, and around the animals or the plants or the fish or whatever the pictures are typically outlines of color. So the first thing we're gonna need to do is create our colored animal and create at least 3 outlines of color around it. So this is an example of how far I'd like you to get today on your project. Okay, so to start, I have my stencil that I already cut out of my sketchbook last class, and I've chosen my colors of paper. I have 4 colors of paper chosen, 4 different colors. I'm gonna pick one to start with. For my example, I chose black. So what I did was I put my stencil on top of the black paper, and I traced around my stencil so that I could create a black bird that's exactly the size of my stencil, and I cut that out. Okay, that is what you need to do first. Then you take that colored animal and you're going to place it on your second color of paper. You want this to be a color that is very different from the color you used first so that you see contrast. I chose green. I think, look, black on green is going to really pop. So I placed my bird on my green paper, and using my pencil, I traced around my bird, leaving about the amount of space of the width of my pencil. Look at that. It's about the width of my pencil. And I am leaving that same amount of space around the entire bird. I'm doing this carefully so that it is nice and neat. Okay? Now, I drew this kind of dark for you so you could see it on the video. But look, over here where I've already traced it, I did it very lightly, and that's my suggestion for you. Trace lightly so that it's easy for you to then erase it later. Okay, so now I'm going to carefully cut out my bird. Here's a tip. Go around the big part first. Okay, I hold my scissors and turn the paper as I cut when I go around small areas. So let me show you what I mean. If I'm cutting right here on the beak, I'm going to start cutting, and then I'm going to turn my paper and keep going. This helps me to cut quickly, but also very neatly. Okay, look how I cut off a big area all at once, and now I can go into the small parts more quickly. And I'm already almost finished. Okay, almost done. Don't worry guys, this is the only one I'm going to cut out completely for you on video. Okay, now all of these scraps that we're creating here, the little ones we're going to throw into the garbage can when we clean up today. So let's look at what I've got here. I've got all these little pieces here. These can go aside in a pile, but my large scrap I'm going to save. This I'm keeping. Okay, I'm going to put this aside for a minute. All of the scraps we're going to keep today because we're going to use them later when we're decorating. So let's check out my finished bird mola. All of the colors that I used in the lines around my bird, I've reused in the background. Okay, so I have my first bird and my first outline created. I'm going to glue these together. We're going to be using the liquid glue today because it sticks a lot better and more permanently than the glue stick. So I'm going to look first and place it where I want it. Then I will flip it over, making sure I put the glue on the correct side of the bird. I'm going to just kind of go around the edge. You can use little dots or just an outline, but don't get too close to the edge. And more is not better. You can always add more glue. It's much harder to take it away. Okay, look where you're putting it and place it down. All right, now, next you're going to repeat that to create another outline using your other 2 colors. So I've already done that. I next put my green outlined bird onto blue paper, and I traced around that and cut, and then I did that with my purple. and I traced around and cut. So once I glue these together, I will have finished making my colored outlines. My last step for today would be just to glue this down to a final color of paper. Now that's how much I'd like you to finish today. I think that if you can get this much done, you'll be in good shape. If any glue is showing on the edges of your mola today, we're going to want to use our drying racks. So you could put your name on the back of your final paper, name and block, and you'll use the drying rack that has your class number on it. If you are confident that there is no glue showing, then your mola as well as all of your scraps. So here, look at all of my scraps, black, purple, blue, and green. All of this can go into my sketchbook or my folder if I'm in a half-block art class. Okay, and then I will be ready to continue next class adding my patterns and decorations. Thanks for watching. Have fun.